Yeah, morning all. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not? Yeah,
Yes, sir.
thank you. Yes. So in the last class, just I was briefing you about Python Software Foundation. It's a non-profit organization devoted towards Python community. It was launched in the year 2001. The objective is to foster the development of Python. In the year 2005, PSF received Computer World Horizon Award. The president for this PSF, Woodrow Van Rossum, the same personality who has introduced Python. Headquarters, Delaware, US. Official website, python.org. Python versions, right? One version in the year 1989, two version in the year 2000, right? Three version, right? In the year 2008. The version what we are using currently is 3 version, right? Latest version of Python, Python 3.11. And the stable version of Python, Python 3.9, right? It's instead of showing you the installation of Python, right? Yes. Python execution modes. Python execution modes, right? Yes. Two modes of execution. Two modes of execution. First one, interactive mode. Second is batch mode. Interactive mode and batch mode. The interactive mode means directly we can type Python statements as a. Go to the command prompt. If you type Python here, yes, you can directly type Python statements here. Any valid Python statements. What is X? What is Y? What is X plus Y? X minus Y, X into Y, right? Yes. Interactive mode. Here we directly type Python statements. Python statements on the interpreter. And the user can easily interact. Here we directly type Python statements on the interpreter and the user can easily interact. And the user can easily interact with Python statement by statement. Advantage of interactive mode. If you doesn't know about any Python functionality, you can type and check, right, what output it is going to provide. To test the functionalities of Python. To test the functionalities of Python. And for learning Python. And to learn Python. For the beginners, right? For the beginners and the learners, right? Python. This interactive mode works better. Statement by statement, you can interact. Yes. Batch mode. Here, we directly type Here we directly type Python statements. Here we directly type sorry. In batch mode, right? We write batch of statements or set of statements. Set of statements within the editors or IDEs. Here we write set of statements within the editors or IDEs. And save it by using .py extension. Save it by using .py extension and later submitting to Python. We write a set of statements within editors, IDEs, save it by using .py extension and later submitting to Python. So what are the various editors where we can write the Python code and create a .py file? Various editors. Within the notepad, we can write. Within the edit plus, we can write the Python code. And in the case of Linux, VI editor and nano editor, right? Various editors for Windows. Within the Windows environment, we can go with the notepad and edit plus, right? Where you can write the Python code and creating a .py, and in Linux, VA and nano editors. These are the editors, right? But IDEs, various IDEs, integrated development environment, right? Various IDEs supported by Python. Python supports many IDEs like PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, Jupyter Notebook, VS Code. So these are the various IDs supported by Python. Among all these, PyCharm is the mostly used one. Mostly used IDE is PyCharm. You may ask why these many IDs for Python? Why not one or two, right? As Python is used in different environments are using Python, like in data science, in big data, in generating the GUI applications, gaming applications, embedded applications, right? Different environments using Python. So in different environments, different IDs will be preferred. For data science, Jupyter Notebook is mostly preferred. For big data environment, Spider IDE, Jupyter Notebook are mostly preferred, right? So depending, and for typical web applications, right? Typical web applications, PyCharm is mostly used, VS Code is mostly used. So different environments use different IDEs, right? Yes. So I'll be showing you how to work with all these IDEs, right? How to work with different IDEs like Jupyter, Spider, PyCharm, VS Code, all this. I'll show you step by step how to download, how to install, and how to work, and how to write the code and execute the code on these IDEs, different IDEs, working with IDEs. So tomorrow, if you go to any environment, you can work with any of these IDEs. Your Python coding is not going to change, only the environment is going to change. So developing Developing the first Python application. Developing the first Python application, right? Within a editor, right? Yes. Developing the first Python application within a editor. Example like Notepad. Open Notepad. And type the following Python statements. Open Notepad and type the following Python statements. So as of now, we didn't discuss anything related to Python. So just I'll take two values. Right? Yes. X as 10. Y as 20. And I want to perform some kind of arithmetic operations. Yes. Print X plus Y. X plus Y. Print X minus Y. Print X by Y. X into Y. X by Y. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, right? Yes. I'll copy this. I'll copy these statements to a separate notepad file, right? Paste it, save it, file, save. Save like sample1.py, where I'm saving within the C drive, Python 7 sample1.py, right? Save it. Now you've created a sample1.py file, right? Now, so here, save as. Sample1.py, and now submit this file. And now submit this file. Python. And now submit this file to Python as. Go to the command prompt. Yes. Go to the command prompt. Type Python and specify the path where the file is available within the C drive. Yes, Python 7 AM, right? Within that sample1.py, right? So here we are submitting the file. The file name is sample1.py, present in the Python 7 AM within the C drive. Submit the entire file path to Python and say enter. Yeah, 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20, right? Yeah. So in this way, right, we can just execute, writing the Python code and executing this .py file. Okay. Okay. So here we need to give the entire file path to Python. But here, what is your observation? But here we are writing the code We are writing the code at one place and executing at the second place. Here we are writing the code at one place. Means within the notepad you are writing, right? Yes. And executing at the other place. We are writing the code at one place and executing at the other place. Where you are executing within the command prompt. But to write and execute, at the same place. Here we're writing the code at one place and executing at the other place. But to write and execute at the same place, we have IDLE. We have IDLE, which comes we write and execute at the same place. We have IDLE, which comes along with Python installation, using which we can write and execute. At the same place. We're writing the code at one place and executing at the other place, but to write and execute at the same place, we have IDLE, which comes along with Python installation, using which we can write and execute at the same place. So how to open this IDLE, integrated development learning environment, right? How can we open this and how can we write and execute at the same place? Yes. Yes. So just go to the Python installed folder within the start programs. First you can type in the search panel, right? Type IDLE. If you click it, it gets open, right? Python shell gets open in this way. Otherwise, this is one way. Another way, like click the start programs. Just see that, click that all apps and see your all apps here. Python 3.11. If you click, the first one, what you are able to see is IDLE. And click it. This IDLE Python shell gets open in this way, right? So this opens in interactive mode. Any valid statements you can type, but I want to work with batch mode. Means file, new file we need to set. File, new file. Here we can write the code. Here itself we can write the code. X is 10, Y is 5, print X plus Y, X minus Y. Save it, control it. Sample 2. Here itself we can run, here itself we can exit. Can write the code here, run module, check it. Yes, 10 plus 5, 10 minus 5, 10 into. So here itself we can write the code, here itself we can run the code. Yes. Yeah. So that is what working with an editor, right? Writing with an editor. Opening Python editor like Notepad, write your code in the Notepad, save it as sample1.py, and go to the command prompt. Okay, here I say go to command prompt and type that. But we are writing at one place and executing at the other place, right? But for writing and executing at the same place, we have IDE, which comes with along Python installation. We can run and execute at the same place. Next, well, data types in Python. Data types. So working with IDEs, I'll be discussing once we are done with a little bit of technical content, how to work with IDEs. 1 second. Every organization use case, right, has got data and operations. Every organization use case has got a data and operations. Data represented, right? Data represented using data types or variables. Data represented using data types or variables. Operations represented, right? Yes. Using functions. Data represented using data types or variables. Operations represented using functions. Organization. Take any organization, right? Example like a bank. Bank consists of data and operations. Data means like customer name, account number, address, balance. Operations means like withdraw operation, deposit operation, transfer operations, right? See, if I'm discussing about these data types, right? So if we compare C or C++ or Java with Python, right? With Python. Python supports dynamic data types. Python supports what? Dynamic data types. Means, what do you mean by dynamic data types means? First, if you observe C, C++, Java, if you are saying X has 10 in this Java, C, C++ or Java, compulsory you need to define this data type. Without this data type defining, you cannot create a variable, right? Int X has 10, Y has 4.5. Compulsory I need to say float. Z equal to some hello HELLO, right? String Z. So int or float or string X, Y, Z. But in Python, no need to define that type, right? No need to define these types. Directly I can say X has 10. Directly I can say Y has 4.5. Directly I can say like Z has hello. X has 10, Y has 4.5, Z has hello. Okay, X has 10, Y has 4.5, Z has hello. Dynamic data types. So here, what kind of variable X is means based on the data type defining, we are saying X is a integer. Y, what kind of variable Y is means it's float type. What kind of variable Z is means it's string type. But here in Python, what kind of variable x is means what value you have assigned to it. Based on the value assigned, the variable x is created dynamically during runtime. If you want to know that what type of variable x is in Python, we have got type function. Type of x is what type? Int type. Type of y is what type? Float type. Type of z is what type? String type. So here type of x is int, type of y is float, type of z is string. Okay. So here you're assigning an integer, assigning a what value you are assigning. Why this type of y is float? Because you have assigned a float value. That's why float variable created. Why x equal to 10 is integer means you have assigned the integer value. That's why integer variable getting created. Based upon what value you are assigning, the variables are getting created dynamically here in Python. So type of x, type of y, type of z. So to make you understand much better on this, we'll be discussing 4 cases now. So observe these 4 cases. You are defining variables in Python, right? Defining variables. Case 1. Whenever you are saying like x equal to 10, whenever you define x equal to 10, what happens internally? In one object gets created, one object with value 10 gets created, is going to have some address. Is going to occupy some physical memory location address. That address is given to x. What x is storing, what x stores, don't say like x stores 10. X stores this address. Whenever you say print x, it goes to this address and prints this 10. Here, 3 things you need to understand. Here, 3 things we need to understand. Print x. Print x means it goes to this address and prints the content. Print x means prints the content. It goes to this address and prints the content 10. Print x means prints the content. Prints the content at that address. What is that? 10. Prints the content at that address. Print ID of x. Prints the address of x. Type of x. 3 things need to understand. Prints the data type of x. Data type of x. What data type? Integer type. So print x means prints the content, that is 10. ID of x means prints the address, right? Print the type of x, prints the data type of x, integer type, right? This is what case 1. Understood, right? Well, how to print it, how to print the content, how to print the address, and how to print the type of a variable. Case 2. Next, case 2. Observe this case 2. So from here on, you people can just unmute yourself and try to give your responses, right? Yes, try to interact. Either you can give your responses through voice by unmuting yourself, and or you can type your responses in the chat panel. X value is 10. Y is 20. How many objects are created here? Yes, everyone. X is 10, Y is 20. 2 objects gets created, right? Yes. 10 and for this 20. 2 objects going to have address there. the address is given to X, this address is given to Y. Print X. Print X means what it prints?
10.
10, yes. ID of X?
Int.
103070. Address. ID means what? Address. Type means what type? What data type?
Int.
Type. Print Y? 20. Address of Y? Yes, everyone try to
Memory
give a
address.
1040. Okay, so type of, this is random address I've given, but where exactly they are stored, that address will be written. Print address of type of Y. Integer, right? Two different variables XY with two different values 10, 20. The two different objects gets created with two different addresses, right? Two different variables, two different values, two different objects with two different addresses. Okay, this case 2. Go next, case 3, right? Yes. Observe this case 3. Yes. X equal to 10. Y also 10, right? How many objects are created here, right? Everyone. Yes, try to give your responses. X equal to 10, Y equal to 10. How many objects?
Two objects.
Observe carefully. Here only one object is created. 10307, some address where exactly it is stored. Before creating object for Y, right? It checks any object with value 10 is already available in the memory. If available, the same address will be given to Y. If it is not available, it will create a new object. See, X value is 10, Y is 10, Z equal to 10. Do you think three objects with value 10 gets created in the memory? No. Only one object gets created. Its address is given to X, Y, and Z. Its address is given to X, Y, and Z. Only one object, its address. Means if X value is 10, Y is 20, Z is 30. How many objects in that case? X is 10, if Y is 20, Z is 30. How many objects will be created in that case? Everyone. Hello?
Three.
Right? If the contents are different, three objects. If the contents are same, only one object. Means X, Y, and Z, they are sharing the same content to 10. They are sharing the same address, right? They are sharing the same content and the address. Print X equal to print Y equal to print Z. Same thing, right? 10. Print address of X. Print address of Y. Print address of Z. Same address. They are sharing the same content and the address. Type also same, right? Type of X, type of Y, and type of Z. This is case 3. Case 4, you observe. Here X value is 10, X is 20, not XY here, not XY, X and X only. How many objects gets created? Everyone. Whether your answers are correct or wrong, you need to keep responding, right? Yes. You can unmute yourself and even give your response. X is 10, X is 20. How many objects? Two objects. This is fine. But Print X means what is the text value it prints? 10 or 20 or both or error. What is your answer? Print X means what is the X value it is going to print? 10 or 20 or both. What is your answer? Always it prints the latest value. Always it prints the, for example, your salary last year 50,000, your salary this year 80,000. Print salary means always the latest salary will be printed. X is 10, X is 20. Always the latest value will be printed. Print address of X means that address of 20, 104080. Is there any possibility of printing the value of this 10? Is there any possibility of printing this 10? What happens to this object? Is it available or not available? What happens to the object 10? So to understand about what happens to this previous object, there is a concept called garbage collector. So it's too early to discuss that, but just I'll give overview as of now, but later in our course, we'll be discussing in brief, right? With multiple examples. So to explain that garbage collector, I'll go back to this case 3. Yes. Garbage collector. What is garbage collector means? Garbage collector removes unused or unreferred objects. The collector removes unused or unreferred objects. Garbage collector removes unused or unreferred objects from the memory. You may ask, what do you mean by unused and what do you mean by unreferred objects? Means objects whose reference count becomes 0. Objects whose reference count becomes 0. Then immediately, so objects whose reference count becomes 0, we call them as unused or unreferred objects. Then immediately these objects gets removed. If any object reference count becomes 0, then immediately that object gets removed from the memory by the garbage collector. Observe, objects whose reference count becomes 0, then immediately this object gets removed from the memory by the garbage collector. Reference count becoming 0 means, what is this reference count? What do you mean by reference count? Reference count means number of variables, number of variables pointing to an object. Number of variables pointing to an object will give the reference count. Number of variables pointing to an object will give the reference count. Or Number of variables pointing to an object or number of variables storing address of a object will give the reference count. Okay, to make you understand all this, see this example, right? There is an object of 10, x is pointing to this, y is pointing, z is pointing. So how many variables are pointing? 3. So what is the reference count here? Yes. Reference count is nothing but number of variables pointing to this object. 3 objects, right? So three variables are pointing. So what is the reference count? Everyone. Yes. What is the reference count here? 3, right? Why 3? 3 variables are pointing. X, Y, and Z. X, Y, and Z. 3 variables. Slowly, I will modify the y value to 20. Slowly, I will modify the y value to 20 means a new object to 20 got created with some new address. The address is given to y. Yes. Now y is pointing to the new object. Y is pointing to the new object. Y is not pointing to this old. This y is not pointing to this. Y is made to point to the new object. What is the reference count now? Yes. What is the reference count now? How many variables are pointing to this object to 10? How many variables are pointing to this object to 10? 2 variables, x and z. X and z are pointing. Slowly, I modified the z value to 30. One object got created with an object got created. So 30 has got its address. The address is given to z. Now z is pointed to the new object. Z is not pointing to this. Z is not pointing to this. Yes. Now what is the reference count? The reference count is what? 1. Only x is pointing. Y and z, they are pointing to different objects. Slowly, if x value also modified to 50. The address is given to x. X is not pointed to this. X is not pointing to this. X is pointing to the new object. Reference count is 0. Reference count is what? 0. Now understood how this object reference count became 0. It was 3 initially. It became 0 now. If it becomes 0 means we call it as unused or unreferred. Means this object 10 is unused by anyone. It is unreferred. Immediately garbage collector removes this object from the memory. This kind of unused or unreferred objects will be removed by the garbage collector. Understood, right? What is reference count, what is garbage collector, and how an object gets removed from the memory? Yes, everyone. Later, once again, I'll explain this in brief, right, with multiple examples. So coming back to this case 4, right? Coming back to this case 4, that x is 10, x is 20. X is 10, x is 20. I was asking, right, what happens to the previous x equal to 10? Try to say, forget about x equal to 20 for some time. What is the reference count of this object? What is the reference count of this object? How many variables are pointing to this object 10? One variable, right? Only one variable is pointing. Only one variable is pointing to this object. Yes. Slowly, x is made to point to the new object. Now x equal 20. Now x is made to point to the new object. Now x is not pointing to this. So reference count becomes 0. When reference count becomes 0, then this object is going to get removed, right? So print x means 20 always surplus. Understood all these four cases, right? What happens internally when we define some variables? Very quickly, I'll show you the practicals on all these four cases. Yes. File, new file. Observe this case one, right? This is comment in Python, right? Hash symbol. If you're starting anything with hash, it's a comment in Python, right? Defining a variable. Observe this case one, right? Case one is what? X. Whenever you say x equal to 10, print x. Print that. Python is case sensitive. Uppercase, lower cases are taken differently. The address where exactly it is stored and the type of x. Type of x is the data type. Save it. Run module. Check this. X value is 10. The address where exactly it is stored. Right. Print x. Just I'll take 10-15 minutes more. Print x means it is printing 10. The address where exactly it is stored. Type is type of x is integer type. Right. Yes, printing the print x content, print address, type is what type, int type. Now observe this case 2, right? The same thing I'll copy for case 2. Whenever you want to write any other program code, write file, new file, you can say. Yes. Case 2. Case 2 is what? X equal to 10, y equal to 20. X equal to 10, y equal to 20. Defining two different variables. Two different variables with two different values. Then two different objects gets created. Yes, defining two different variables with two different values, then two different objects gets created. Two different variables with two different values, two different objects gets created with two different addresses. Defining two different variables with two different values, two different objects gets created with two different addresses. So x is 10, y is 20, print x, address of x, type of x, print y, address of y, type of y. Yes, 1 second. Defining two different variables with two different values, then two different objects gets created with two different addresses. So print x means 10, the address of 10, the type of 10 is integer type. Print y means 20, the address where exactly it is stored, the type is what? Int type. Run, check this, right? 10, its address, yes. 20, it's a. Can you please answer the address of x and address of y are same or different? Different, right? Because different values, different objects gets created with different addresses. Address of x and y are different. 10, 20. Two different objects, two different addresses. Observe this case 3, right? Case 3. Defining two different variables with same values defining two different variables with same values, then only one object gets created. Only one object gets created, and its address two different variables with same values, then only one object gets created and its address is returned to both. X is 10, Y is 10. So two different variables xy with same values 10 and 10, right? Only one object gets created and its address is returned to both. Address is returned to both. X is 10, Y is 10. So address of X and address of Y, will it be same or different here? Anyone? Address of X and Y, will it be same, right? It should be same. It has to be same, right? Because the fonts X value 10, Y value 10. So the address is also same. The type also same. Run module. The 10 and 10, right? Same. The address is also same. The type also same. Observe this case for last one. Case for defining two variables, defining two variables like X is 10, X is 20. Two variables with same name, but with different values. Two variables with same name but with different values. Then two different objects two variables with same name but with different values. Then two different objects gets created. And the previous one gets removed. Defining two variables with same name but with different values, then two different objects gets created and the previous one gets removed. X value is 10, X is 20. Always it prints the latest X, right? Print X, that is 20. Address of X is 20 address. Type of X is integer type. Print always it prints that 20, its address and its type. Right? Understood, right? All these four cases. Anyone, any query in these cases, right? So I was just showing you the Python execution modes, developing the first Python application and defining data types, right? Variables in Python. So I got one query in case for X is 10, Y is 10.0, right? X value is 10, Y is 10.0. X value is 10, Y value is 10.0. What is type of Y? Type of Y will be float type. Type of X will be integer. The address will it be same or different? Different, right? Different addresses. 10 and 10.0 are not same. Float object created, here integer object is created. Address is different. Okay, fine. So understood, right? Any query as part of today's session, right? Yes. Any query related to today's query, right? So next class will be on Monday, right? Monday also everyone can attend, right? And check it. So Monday, okay, but from Tuesday onwards, the link will be changing, right? You are supposed to get enrolled from Tuesday. So Monday you can attend with the same link, same time, but Tuesday the link will be changing. So by the you need to enroll to get the new link, right? Fine. Yes. See, 1 second. Can you, if you observe this, there is a big message given by the online team, right? Big message given by the online team. In that you can see the demo videos available. Demo videos means they will keep in the YouTube link will be provided, right? They all upload that video in the YouTube and they have given the link, right? You can just go through those demo video link. Yes, course content. Demo link is given, demo video link is given, right? Yes, and the course content, the fees details, everything are provided in that, right? Yes. Anyone? Okay, fine. So Monday you can attend at the same time using the same link. And from Tuesday, the link will be changed. Fine, right? Any other queries, right? So if I'm done with your queries, I'll just sign off for now. Meet you on Monday. Fine. So from Monday, we'll start sharp at 7 o'clock. We'll end it. Fine. Okay. So I said a WhatsApp group will be created from Tuesday for technical discussion, and every video, every session is video recorded. You will be getting the recorded video to your Google Drive. So from Tuesday onwards, you will be getting to your Google Drive. Notes you will be getting, right? You will be getting the notes. And the WhatsApp group will be created and assignments and tasks will be provided, right? And once again, I'm saying the class timing for the Monday, it will be at 7 o'clock, as I said, right? 7 o'clock. Mostly from Monday or Tuesday, it will be 7, but later it will be at 6 o'clock. The regular timing, the regular class timing for this is 6 o'clock. For the next 2 days, it may go at 7, but from there onwards, after 2 days, the timing of this batch is 6 o'clock, 6 to 7, up to the end of the course, right? The regular timing of this class. Okay, fine. So I'm stopping for now. We'll continue on Monday.